tonight's program, we examine the phenomenon which is Cry No More. Described by Gore Vidal as quite tall, theirs is a unique story in the genre of popular music. Indeed, in their short history, they have sown a bold and iridescent thread through the tapestry of 20th century culture. Notoriously secretive, they surprised and delighted us with their assistance in the making of this feature, even allowing our film crew the unprecedented honor of joining them on their last tour. Ladies and gentlemen, and disc jockeys, Cry No More.
And where better to have a final pre-tour drink than here in this historic town of Twickenham. Old Father Thames to my right, Old Mother Riley to my left. Back here in the pub where it all started for us, the Mulberry Tree. A pub that now shamelessly trades on our good name in much the same way that the Cavern did for so long with the Beatles. Hello, my name's Darren Nesbitt, and this is my first interview in this, if you will, rockumentary. And my first guest is Mr. Mick Sullivan, Senior Technical Advisor on the Cry No More Tour. Good evening, Mick. Hello, Darren. Mick, you've worked with a lot of big names in the past. What makes Cry No More special?
Nothing.
We were asked to do the music for a film called Bloody New Year. Actually, they asked us, and they also asked Queen, and we both submitted a list of tracks, and apparently they thought that the Queen ones were shit.
Your Highness, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, in about 15 seconds' time, tonight's opening act will be here. Thank you very much, thank you.
The next single was Tears on the Ballroom Floor, for which we did a video. And we'd not done a video before, and funnily enough, the people who were producing that video came up to us during the shoot and said, "You are fantastic naturals when it comes to video. We've worked with some of the great groups in the world, including Queen and other groups like that, but we've never come up against anybody who is so fantastically natural on video as you are." A lot of awards, but not actually for that video. And then after that, we went on tour with John Martyn. Oh yeah, John Martyn was the next tour, and I remember it was about halfway through that tour, and John Martyn came up to us and he said, "You should not be a support act because you're too fantastic to be a support act. I think you're the best. Probably the best group I've ever seen in my life. You're better than any group I've ever heard, including the Beatles or Queen." He said, "You're just fantastic. You shouldn't ever do a support again. You're too good for that. Don't be a support." And after that, we did another support.
There is nothing like a dame. Nothing like a dame. There is nothing in this world that is anything like a dame. No one walks like a dame. No one talks like a dame. No one dresses like a dame. Except a man we know in Leicester.
But you will appear with your
Well, where to begin, really, Darren? I suppose really it all started at the Mulberry Tree in Twickenham is where we started playing. We used to play down there every Sunday, and built up quite a following, really. EMI came down and saw us and signed us up. Previously, or before, we had done our own indie single, which was called Cry No More. Cry No More, the first single was called. That was an indie single, which we produced and did ourselves and packaged it ourselves, and that sold like hot cakes, really, didn't it? And then EMI came down, and they said, "You're the most fantastic band in the world that we've ever seen, and we've had all the big ones. That we've had the Beatles." And we said, "Did you ever have Dave, Dee, Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch?" And they said, "No." And we said, "Well, you're not such clever bastards, then you haven't had all the world's great bands, have you, if you didn't have them?" What did they say the first single was? The first single was going to be Dancing in the Danger Zone. Dancing in the Danger Zone, which we thought was... I thought that was a strange choice, really, didn't you? We said, "That's not a hit," and they said, "No, it's not, but it's a good record, and we'd be proud and privileged and honoured if you'd put it out." And so we said, "All right," and they did. And during that time, we made a cassette which we sold to our fans. I think that, how many did that sell? Anyway, that was called Live at the Mulberry Tree. That was called. And that was a fantastic cassette, actually, which we made. And later on, that became an album called Smile, which was released on the Cold Harbour label and was very, very, very big on the Isle of Man. Anyway, we did Bloody New Year, which won Oscars for several people, but none of those people were involved in Bloody New Year. And then what did we do after that? After that it was Real Love. We did a single called Real Love, which was a kind of a rap record. And that was quite a big hit for us, actually. Real Love was very big for us in around the Mumbles in Swansea. I think we sold upwards of about three or maybe, perhaps it was just 2 copies of Real Love. That was a big single for us. And then we did our first sort of real tour with, who was it? With Suzanne Vega. Yeah, we did our first tour with You Can Find Me Left of Centre with Suzanne Vega. Funny, really, because, I mean, Sunday night we were playing there at the Mulberry Tree in Twickenham, and on the Monday night we were at the Albert Hall. Yeah, we played the Albert Hall on the Monday night with Suzanne Vega. Well, shortly after that, Rupert Perry of EMI came up to us and said, "We've signed you, we've got you, you're a fantastic band, isn't it time you did an album for us?" And we said, "No, we'll just have a few more drinks, and then we're willing to do an album for you, and who's going to produce it?" And it was Richard Goddard and Jeffrey Lesser and David Richards. David Richards has worked with Queen and Freddie Mercury and David Bowie and Iggy Pop. Richard Goddard has done all sorts of things like Blondie, and Jeffrey Lesser did the first Anita Dobson demos, I think. And so we went over to meet them in New York, and they listened to our demos and they said, "These are just fantastic demos. We'd be thrilled and honoured to produce the album for you," and they did, and I think that album was done very, very well for us, really. I mean, that was absolutely massive, and Recipe for Romance was a big one for us, actually. That was big, and then after that had been big, we decided that it was time for another big single to come out. So Chaz and I put our heads together and we decided between ourselves that the next single should be Tears on the Ballroom Floor. Perhaps the most difficult stage in our career so far has been making the first DMI album, which was a much bigger budget than we'd normally been involved in, and done in a way that was quite alien to us as sort of gutter people, gutter snipes, if you will. But well, Chaz, maybe you'd like to say something about the making of that album.
I better go to the bank actually, because we'll miss it otherwise.
Yeah,
See you a bit later.
we made, actually that was...
Next song is dedicated to Ronald Biggs and any other great train robbers in the audience tonight here at the Mulberry Tree. A song called On Holiday. Drop more vermin, a little more ice. Roaches, rats, could be paradise. To wish we could stay on holiday.
Hobbies. There isn't really any time in this business, but yeah, I love wrestling. I suppose our favourite people are DJs and TV presenters. Really, anyone who can be of any use to us, really. I think I'd describe our music as it's just music, isn't it? It's just music. There have been occasions, certainly, when people have accused us of being sexist. We've been accused of being sexist. Nothing could be further from the truth. We love chicks. Ambitions, yes. No, we still have ambitions. I'd love to see peace in the world, certainly. I think that would be lovely. And I suppose we'd still, I think, like to make a record that was a hit.